You want to share the nickname that we all call you?
They call me the champ.
Yeah, they call you.
Arthur Chan, take one. My name's Arthur Chan. I drive for the Axon Endurance racing team. I was born and raised in Vancouver. Grew up here. Didn't really have any parents which were into racing, so I kind of got into it myself, and I love sim racing. Cars, I'm interested in pretty well every aspect of cars. Whatever car I have, I love to know the inside out of it, of how it works. When I was a kid, what I used to read for fun was the maintenance manual for my mom's car. I mean, I guess the first kind of racing I did was a little go-karting school out at Boundary Bay with Daryl Young teaching me, and that was kind of my start. And after that, I went into autocross. That was about 20 years ago. Started in autocross. Did pretty well off the bat. I think I had some natural talent on it, and I just love the feeling of competition, of looking for that last tenth of a second out there. Got into sim racing just because I was too young to have a driver's license, and I just liked the idea of racing things. I used to, when I was a kid, I used to watch Formula 1, and being in our time zone, you have to get up really early if you want to watch the Formula 1 races live. So I'd get up at 5 o'clock and hopefully stay up through the whole race. But I used to just love watching the racing. Back then, it was just a laptop on a dining room table with steering wheel clamped to it, and that's all it is. So it's definitely a far cry from what we have today. The most difficult thing for me about joining real racing is really the costs and the time commitment, especially to be competitive. I've done some real races, and they were a lot of fun with friends and just being out there. But I really want to be competitive and have the equipment. I want to be in a position where if I'm not doing well, it's because of me, it's not because of my equipment. So real racing, that's a big challenge, not just the cost, but the time it takes to prepare a car and travel and go places. So what sim racing's been able to bring to me is to get a lot of that experience of basically racing racetracks, the best racetracks around the world, against real people, against doing races that really matter, and to do even endurance races with the Axon team. Sim racing has really helped my real life driving, even in autocross. I used to drive a lot of Richard Burns rally, which you wouldn't think translates to autocross well, but I really thought it did, because you're having to keep the car on the edge of control. You've got different elements coming at you really quickly, so you have to react to the car and the track. And I really think that helped me in my success in autocross through those years. The things you do in a sim in terms of what you're doing with your hands, how quick and how smooth your hands are, what you're doing with your feet, are you smooth on your inputs, are you really firm on your brake, are you using all the brake, and even what you're doing with your eyes in the sim really translates to real life driving. Sim racing has definitely, especially with a certain level of gear, with force feedback now and load cell pedals, I think the things I'm physically learning from driving a sim is definitely translating into other sports like autocross. Because for me, I'm oftentimes an underdriver, so I'm often driving just below the limit of the car, and I have to push myself to get to the limit. So with the appropriate sim gear, I think I am learning to feel the grip level through the wheel. And when it comes to braking, I'm learning to brake harder and harder until I'm feeling the car get just on the edge of grip. And I think that's where it's helping me. For me, the most valuable thing I get out of sim racing is the experience, especially with sims like iRacing. It's the excitement, especially for a league race or an iRacing special event. You know, there's a date coming up. There's no escape and retry. There's it's like a real race. It's happening at a certain point in time, and you have to perform right at that specific time. So what I really get out of that is the excitement building up to it. I get the same sleepless nights before events, just like I do for an autocross event.
You?
I do.
After so many races as well?
Still do, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, so it's that excitement building up, it's the adrenaline, it's even if you slept for only 2 hours the prior night, you still have that energy when the green flag goes and the excitement of waiting to get into the car. It's especially when you're doing a team endurance event, it's the pressure of performing for the team and not putting, you want to perform your best, you want to achieve something for the team, but you don't want to make an error and throw the car away. Yeah, the endurance aspect is something I really enjoy. When I'm driving my stint in endurance events, I'm trying to always be aware of where I am in my envelope.
And speaking of zero stress level, look at Arthur Chan. Look how calm and composed he is right now.
Honestly, it just looks like me working on a spreadsheet, working from home. I mean, just sort of
there's
like
a smile. He's loving this. He just tried swinging around the outside of Cox for second place, and he felt very nice about it. Had a big smile right there.
My favorite race, I'd have to say, is my first win in the Recmotec League. I was racing in the Recmotec Extreme Motorsports League for a couple of years, kind of mid-pack driver. I switched to the LMP2 class, and my first race in that car was pretty competitive. There was a field about 15. I was doing okay, maybe mid-pack or so. I wasn't as fast as the fastest guys in the race, but a few of them made some mistakes on the pit stops, and I ended up just inheriting the win at the end.
Oh, there's a smile. There's a head nod. He's realizing that he's done it. Arthur Chan.
Has he got fuel?
He's leaning forward like he's leaning forward like to give it a little bit more momentum. But Arthur Chan, he's done it. Look at the smile, calm, cool, collected, gave him the win. There's the fist. Arthur Chan wins it for Axon Driving Solutions here at the Recmotec World Challenge at Daytona.
So after so many years of racing in leagues, to get my first win was a really big deal for me. So that's still my best memory. I think sim racing has brought me some really amazing and memorable experiences, either on my own in league races or as part of the Axon Endurance team in our special events. Being part of a team, I guess I've been doing this for a pretty long time now, for 13 years, but I still am probably just excited about racing as I was when I first started. And it's thanks to people like iRacing who make terrific products, and yourself at Axon putting together places like these for people to enjoy in the gear, and the people that run the leagues to organize things to bring us these amazing experiences. So I think that's how it's changed me.